Reporting on the games you love by people who love to game. The MMO Reporter Network.
You're logging into your favorite game, grinding out some gear. A couple of points added to your stats, and you have a virtual beer. Max level is pretty cool, but I'll remind you here, my friend. These games are not about the goal, it's about the journey and not the end.
You're listening to MMO Reporter, brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download at audibletrial.com/MMO Reporter. And by Doghouse Systems. Choose your weapon with Doghouse Systems.
Don't forget about your ults you need to cherish. Each and every little character you've got, no matter what level they're at. Don't forget about your ults you need.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of MMO Reporter. This is episode 219. I am Chris, and I am joined by the ever so pantful Layanor. Hello, Layanor.
Hello, minions.
And we've got none other than the wonderful, cold Canadian burning at MMO Bill. Hello, Bill.
Burning.
Canadian burns are the coldest.
That's correct. I'd like to introduce a new game for the MMO Reporter podcast that I was pleasantly playing earlier today. It is the follow Ken from Chicago's tweets as he listens to the show. It was really interesting to watch as we kept on getting these messages from Ken from Chicago as he would listen to the show. And I bet you if you wanted to find all the jokes in the comments, you just have to look at the space between the tweets. And that would be the space between the comments. It was absolutely fantastic, and I highly recommend that you go check out our messages from what day was it? It was June 12th. Early in the morning Eastern time, or Western time. So go check it out. Thanks, Ken from Chicago. It was absolutely a pleasure to read your tweets. My favorite was, of course, hold on at MMO Bill. Quit daydreaming about going MMO rogue, taking the MMO law into your own hands to dish out MMO justice. I think that was my favorite.
I think we need to do dramatic readings of these. Like if they keep coming, Ken or anyone else who really wants to do this too. I think if we get some good tweets, I think we need to set up a dramatic reading and really act it out.
By the way, I was right again, according to Ken from Chicago. So yeah, there we go. All right, let's move things along because we actually do have a lot of games to talk about and what we've been playing. We've all been playing some games and enjoying it. So, Layanor, as is tradition, why don't you start?
I played a little bit of Secret World, got into PvP, and have been doing pretty good because my gear is getting better than it used to be. I'm actually able to kill people and hinder them and slow them down and just keep shooting at them and kill them. And that seems to usually work for me, but when it comes to like 2 or 3 different people coming in on me, then it's a problem. But I have been looking at my gear and just getting a whole bunch of new stuff, and I'm able to survive out there now. So I'm getting more PvP points and raising my ranks out there. So that's kind of new for me for that game. So I'm happy that that's happening.
That's really cool.
So, Secret World, because you're going to answer this, Layanor, because you brought it up. You kind of brought this on yourself. The Ultimate Edition is out. What do you think? Is this? I think it's on sale right now for. Oh, I wanted to. I don't have it right in front of me. But it was like $40 or something like that.
Right.
Is that worth my money or totally worth my money?
For $40, it's worth it. I think that's every issue that's out there right now, and I don't think that you have any issues. You might have like 4 or 5, and they're all the way up to 11 right now. And Tokyo alone is issue 9, 10, and 11, which is, we talked about this last week. It's almost like starting all over again in a new world. Mm-hmm. And that content alone is worth more than $40, I think.
Okay, so you
that is worth it.
it's issues 1 to 11. It's beginner weapons, an AP so 25 ability points, and what's the last thing here? The Zenith Core, which looks like a cosmetic. Is that right?
It might be. I don't know what
Okay.
that is.
Okay,
Yeah.
I don't either.
You might be able to put it in your dishes and get them cleaner. I don't know.
Oh, that sounds good. I'd pay $40 for that.
But
Anyway,
issues 9 through 11 are already worth that price. So yeah, that's a really good package.
Cool. And the $40 I'm totally making up off my head. That's what I thought it is, but I still haven't found the actual price. Anyway, I'm totally hijacking what you did, so please carry on.
Well, you guys always do.
But that's because we got lots to talk about. It's interesting.
There's lots to talk about. I got into Lotro for a little while and power leveled a friend of mine. I got her from level, let's see, I think it was like level 9 to level 19, and got her pretty much set up in the game. The game's kind of confusing in the beginning, so it kind of helps when somebody comes out there and helps you level up and starts getting you the right gear, because a lot of times you can't even figure out what you need to be doing. It's a game that doesn't have too many tutorials in the beginning of it. Did you guys have any problems when you came into Lotro?
No?
Not really, no.
Oh,
No,
you
to
pros.
be fair, when we stepped in, we kind of did it as a group. So, I mean, we flailed around lamely, I'm sure, but we did it together and we all looked the same doing it. So
Exactly.
But
it
none of you
didn't
were like
seem
on
bad.
your own trying to figure things out, though.
No, we were figuring things out in a group of 4, which, like I said, we flailed around pathetically, but we got there.
Yeah, that's
And
better.
we continued to flail around ridiculously, floppily.
Until endgame.
Well,
Well, no, we still ridiculously flop around.
Okay, and the last thing I did was I finished up my last 3 Let's Plays that I've been doing for YouTube, which was of Sleeping Dogs, Blades of Time, and The Darkness 2. And I just started recording my new Let's Plays, which is War in the North, the Lord of the Rings game, The Witcher 1, and Dead Space. I had a lot of people request Dead Space, so I've been starting that one up.
cool. Yeah, I would love to play Witcher 1, but I've been blacklisted by Steam, and they won't let me buy it.
Yeah, they're not letting you, are they? It's like $1 something right now, isn't it?
It's $1.64, and I can't turn down $1.64 for anything.
They ran out of copies. Sorry,
they ran
Bill.
out of copies, I guess.
Yeah, Steam is out of copies.
I've been trying to buy them. I've been hitting the let's try button. I could buy other games. I'm not broke, apparently, but this is the one they won't sell me. And I don't own it already, for those of you who are thinking that I already own it. I double-checked my library. It's not there. But here I am.
Buy Dark Souls. You'll like that.
Dark Souls?
Yeah.
Of what I would like, I think. Dark Souls is pretty much last on my list of anything that I would ever want to play.
No.
Oh.
No, there's worse games. Super Meat Boy? I don't think you want to play Super Meat Boy. I
would play Super Meat Boy before I play Dark Souls.
Really?
What?
Guaranteed. Yep. I'm not a big horror fan, and I mean I tolerate the Secret World because I'm an MMO
it's not a horror
fan.
game. It's like a dark medieval game. Not horror.
Oh, maybe I've got the wrong
well, wait. If it scares you, okay.
I am a little bit scaredy. I'm a very sensitive soul, don't you know?
That's right. You don't like fast zombies, right? No, slow zombies.
Slow zombies are scary.
No, I can deal with slow zombies.
Okay.
The fast zombies kind of freak me out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know what to put on your Christmas card.
Yeah. how do you put a fast zombie on a Christmas card? Isn't it a still photo?
You'll see.
Oh, great.
Bill, what have you been playing this week?
So this week I played a little bit of Guild Wars 2. I changed up my Guild Wars 2, and I actually spent some time doing the dry top area. I decided that my Azura thief desperately needed the mosquito shortbow named Sulicidae, which or Culicidae. I don't actually don't know how to pronounce that, but it I can spell it like a hot damn. But we're not. This isn't Spelling Reporter, so I'm not going to do that to you. Anyway, so I did that after several hours of running loops and earning dry top currency and everything like that, and actually had a really good time. It's a fun zone. It's actually a very fast paced zone.
Yeah.
In the way that the events all chain and everything like that, and if you find a good group leader who's kind of leading the Zerg, it's actually quite fun. Just because of the pace of it, and the fights are a little bit more challenging than most of the other world bosses and other events. I wouldn't go as far as to say that it is actually challenging. It's still something that you can do mostly on kind of brain dead autopilot while you've got a movie on, but it's harder than say doing the Great Jungle Worm or something like that.
Right.
So anyway, that was pretty cool. I played Fallout 3. And I've been really enjoying stepping back into that. Very nostalgic. It's a nice, I'd completely forgotten about the VATS system, and I really like VATS. I think a lot of people, actually, I don't know. I would think a lot of people don't, because it almost feels like cheating. It's like a little bit of, it's like bullet time in Max Payne, and except even more cheaty.
Okay.
But it's still good. I like it. So I've been having a lot of fun in Fallout 3. And what else? I found a thing for everyone to watch. If you're into pen and paper, or if you're just pen and paper curious, Will Wheaton has got a new show over on Geek and Sundry called Titan's Grave. And we will have a link to Chapter 0 in Titan's Grave, which is kind of the background and the setting. It's very much a beginner's type introduction to the series. It talks about how kind of the basics of pen and paper role-playing games, and also is an introduction for the characters that are going to be playing, as well as kind of doing a really high level history of the world that the game is being set in. So it's very cool. I watched the first episode. It's funny. I lulled at 4 minutes into the video. I won't spoil it, but it's there.
Oh, come on.
Just so
come on. Can I play it?
No. Hey, fine. Your call.
Queued it up, so
If you, it's so funny though.
If you don't play it live, you're just gonna edit it in later anyway. So
no, I won't. If you don't want, I won't play it live. I'm sitting here. The live chat room is watching me hover over the play button. It's right before I can. You know what? If you don't want a spoiler, go about skip 30 seconds of the podcast. How's that?
That's fair.
Okay, ready? Because this is freaking hilarious. Here we go.
Let the players and the game master know how good or bad that character is at things like throwing a punch, deciphering a scroll, or not falling into a hidden acid pit that has absolutely no business being in the foyer of a mansion, Chris Perkins, that doesn't even make any sense. It should never have been there, you murderer. Whenever a player wants to do something that has a
I like that. Anyway, so that's officially on my watch list now. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just so you know, just so that there is just a little bit of an MMO tie to everything, Laura Bailey, who is playing the character Lemley in this web series, also voiced Belle Walker from WildStar. So there's your WildStar collection, and she was also the female demon hunter voice in Diablo 3 in the expansion. Dang it, I'm gapping on the expansion now.
There you go. There's a picture of Belle Walker for all you wonderful video
Belle Walker
watchers.
fans.
Yeah.
So anyway, so Laura Bailey ties to MMO. Watch Titan's Grave. Looks fun and awesome. Anyway, and for those of you who have been hiding under a rock, the Steam sale has officially launched, and games are cheap and plentiful. And it's just bad for your self-esteem, because you're going to buy more games than you could ever possibly play, and sometimes Steam just won't sell you games because you're not a good enough person.
You're blacklisted.
Yeah.
Yep.
blacklisted.
So while I wallow in my self-pity over not being able to buy The Witcher, Chris, what have you been playing this week?
I'm still playing Dragon Fantasy on my Vita. The from what I've seen, at least as of the first maybe half hour, very similar to the remastered version on Steam that everyone can get. But just a ton of fun. It's a nice, grindy little Final Fantasy style RPG, and it's really serving like here is this new piece of hardware, the Vita, that can do anything. It can stream my PS4. I'm playing an 8-bit game. Yep.
Right.
And it's fun. It's awesome. It's fantastic. I'm really enjoying it. I've also, since it has launched, been playing Elder Scrolls Online on my Xbox One. And between that and Neverwinter, also on Xbox One, I'm actually having quite a lot of fun. And I also, not this week, but in the past, have played Final Fantasy 14 on my PS4. I'm not hating playing MMOs on consoles, depending on the MMO, of course. Not every MMO would work on a console. I'll be talking more about Elder Scrolls Online, and in fact, it'll be after this podcast has been posted. But on Sunday, I'm going to be streaming in the morning to compare the two. So anyone who wants to come and watch can do that. Or by the time you've seen this, I'll throw the stream highlights on YouTube, and you can check it out on our Twitch channel as well. Elder Scrolls, just really quickly, has transferred very, very well to the console. The control scheme is nice. The world is going along nicely, and I'm having less, although Elder Scrolls Online is newer, I'm having less frame rate issues that I do with Neverwinter. Neverwinter, when lots of stuff is going on, starts to chug along a little bit. I haven't had that issue yet with Elder Scrolls Online, and I have done a couple of anchors, which are their version of like the rifts from Rift. And so, big public events with lots of people, lots of spell effects, not a single hiccup at all so far.
So how are you dealing with devolving into like a subhuman race where you're just not as good as everybody around you?
It's different,
because
playing,
of the whole console gamer versus PC gamer kind of thing.
The difference, though, on PC, I will go and seek out a group or, to level with, or a guild or something like that. None of that. Elder Scrolls Online and Neverwinter, I'm playing with group finders and no interaction, and, I'm playing them as RPGs, basically, with other people who happen to be around and members of my party instead of bots. But that's how I approach both of them. I never approach MMOs like that. Not never. I don't approach them as antisocial on PC as I do on console.
So you just are you deliberately avoiding voice chat, or is it just nobody else is doing it either?
I don't even have a headset hooked up to my Xbox.
Okay.
Other people do. I find it annoying in Elder Scrolls Online, and I can turn it off. There's settings for all this, but I've got it all left open to see what happens, and there's not a lot of great conversation as you run through town and proximity chat, because when you're close to people, you automatically hear their voice chat. Mm-hmm. So if you're in a town, you hear everybody's voice chat, which is cool when you think about it in the social aspect of, you're in town together, you can just talk. You can just chat with people. But I have found it to be mostly less than pleasant. Not horrible, not griefing, not trolling or anything like that, just less than pleasant.
Yeah, I could see that. I'd be curious. Yeah. I could see that being kind of there's a lot of people out there that like to do people watching, right? Where you just kind of you watch the world by and everything like that. I could see doing that in an MMO. In that kind of thing, just kind of listening to the proximity chat in the main parts of town, and I could see being a consumer of that. I don't know that I'd ever participate, but it would be curious to just listen for a while.
Yeah, and I've decided in both. Yeah, I've decided with both games to play a similar class. So I'm playing an archer class in both of them, and it's fun. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying both of them. Neverwinter, I'm enjoying, I think, more than I did on PC. I want to go back to it more than I did on PC, but it might be because it's new too, right? It feels new because it's on the console. Control schemes for Elder Scrolls Online is a little bit better. And the biggest one, I know this sounds stupid, but to jump in Neverwinter, you have to hit the bumper on the controller and a key, whereas it's just a key in an Elder Scrolls, and it's surprising how much better that is as I bunny hop across the world.
But only having to do one button, you mean?
Right. I don't want to have to bunny hop using a shoulder button and an A button. Come on, what kind of peasant does that?
Probably the kind of peasant that plays an MMO on a console.
Ooh. All right. We're going to move things along on that very pleasant note. A little bit of dissonance with Layanor and I's O's there, but that's okay. We'll enjoy it. Patreon, our Patreon campaign. We have a total of 29 patrons. Still looking for that magical 30th patron. Would love to have that be you. Go check out patreon.com/MMO Reporter. I'm looking for people who think that, who wonder if we should do Too Long Didn't Listen as a goal on our Patreon campaign, a return of Too Long Didn't Listen. Let us know what you think. If you like that show, if you'd like to see something in that format come back, let me know. All right, let's move things along to the news.
We do each and every way, sometimes by amount. We strive to reach the level cap, at least that's what we try. We really try. If we ever say we did, we never, ever lie. On MMO Reporter, we never lie. On MMO Reporter, on MMO Reporter.
Except in WoW, and maybe it's coming in WoW because WoW is working to actually redeem itself a little bit. The big news from Blizzard regarding World of Warcraft this week has been the fact that they're actually going to put flying back into the game in Warlords of Draenor. This is for those of you who don't know the history on this. Blizzard has really been pushing back against the notion of enabling the ability to fly in the new expansion zone. They've been really kind of beating the drum saying, we want you to explore. We want you to kind of go into the nooks and crannies of the world. We want you to find the interesting things and see things and do things and that kind of thing. And they feel that the flying mount abilities minimize or cheapen the exploratory aspects of the game. So they've been fighting this fight for a long time. The community, of course, has been kind of pushing back. They've been used to flying for many, many expansions now. It's been rewards for a lot of people. A lot of people have plunked down cash shop money to buy flying mounts in the game. And they kind of are wondering, and they've gotten used to that style of play, and they want to be able to fly. So it's been a big back and forth with Blizzard really kind of digging their heels in, saying no. And finally they said, fine, guys, just fine. That's actually kind of the vibe that I'm getting from this. It's like, fine, we made this beautiful game, but you guys just want to fly over it. So whatever, go ahead and fly, but we're going to make it as hard as we possibly can. So anyway, so the details here, just so you know that where my vitriol or my snark, if you will, is coming from. So
your sass, you might even call it.
Ooh, sass, yeah, snarky sass. So this flying is not going to be coming until after patch 6.2. It's going to be coming as kind of a post-patch feature for 6.2. It's going to be gated by a meta achievement called Pathfinder. And the meta achievement is going to be earned by doing exploration achievements, lore achievements, treasure finding achievements, and a few other pieces to it. So it's actually they're still kind of getting what they want. I think you, in order to be able to fly and skip quote unquote skip content in Warlords of Draenor, you're going to have to do it all. Is kind of the vibe that I get. I don't have the details on everything that's going to be in the meta achievement yet, but I assume it's going to be pretty.
I have a list here.
Oh, you got it?
Yep. You are going to have to explore Draenor's zones, collect 100 treasures in Draenor, complete the Draenor Lore Master and securing Draenor achievements, and raise the 3 new Tannin Jungle reputations to Revered. and then you'll get a Rylac mount, and then the follow-up patch will get you the flying.
3 reputations on top of it.
This is not an easy thing. They're like, fine, you want to do it? Fine, here. You have to do all this. No, not just that. No, not just a gold sync. Ha! See, you thought it was going to be a gold sync. No, you have to grind reputation. And then when you're done grinding reputation, you have to grind another reputation. And then when you're done that, you think you're done? No, one more. Ha! See how you like that flying mount.
And then on top of that, you have to read all the lore too. You have to spend 18 hours on WoW Wiki because we said so.
Oh.
So anyway, so
sorry,
that's
I'm
the way it's
still
coming.
laughing at your sass and my sass together made a pretty sassy comment here.
That's what we got to use for our dramatic reading of MMO Reporter tweets on our show. It's got to be Sassy Chrill, Sassy Chrill,
Sassy
right?
Chrill. I think we have the show title right there.
There you go.
Sassy Chrill. All right.
Tweet at MMO Reporter to get your Sassy Chrill on the show. So I feel like we got a logo. There's going to be like a shrimp with a bad attitude or something like that. It's going to be great. Anyway,
T-shirt out soon.
T-shirts, yes. Anyway, so the core of this, the core question here, like it blows my mind that this is even an argument that the developers need to have with the community, and the community has to have with the community and everything, because whenever any argument comes up, obviously there's got to be a fight. But I mean, there's the underlying issue seems why do you have to push people into exploring your game? Like why is that a pinch point? And why the other side of that is, why is flying the cheat for it? Like, it seems to me there's 2 things that need to be fixed there. Obviously, you need to make exploring more fun, which I realize is a heck of a lot harder to do than to say. So I'm not going to say, just kind of say, whatever, why don't you just do that? Duh. But as far as flying goes, that is something that could be fixed. I mean, if you're really concerned that flying trivializes content in a game, why not make flying harder? Why don't have flying enemies? Why not have combat while you're in flight or something like that? This is not impossible, and I think that would probably add more substance. I mean, if you're worried about people just like, again, trivializing your content, going AFK while they're parked 100 feet in the air or something like that, make it a risk, make it dangerous, make it a challenge to fly.
Or you know what? People don't want to fly through the original stuff. I would hazard to say that most players do not want to fly on their initial playthrough, or would be okay, because the story is so fantastic in Warlords of Draenor, and the entire questing experience, the main story part of it at least, all the way from 90 to 100, is absolutely stunning. Like, I really, really enjoyed that. I think it's probably the best presentation of story that they've done in any expansion, even back to the original game. I would argue I still like the way they went through Wrath of the Lich King. Like, if I had to put them side by side, Wrath of the Lich King was the closest thing to kind of regaining the questing magic in World of Warcraft to me. But I'm not, and that's not saying that Warlords of Draenor is bad. I'm just saying that I like the vibe in Wrath better. I think the story is better in Wrath. I think the presentation of the story is better in Warlords. Does that make sense? It's sort of. So you're liking the mechanics that the story's delivered, but not necessarily the actual story. Right. The way it was chained together, the way you went through the world, the way that main story brought you through from one part of Draenor to the other. I thought that was all fantastic. The story, I love the story in Wrath as well. That was my favorite expansion. But anyways, the other thing I want to say, I do think people, I would have no problem with people being needing to be 100 to fly. But once you hit 100 and you want to do those daily quests and you want to get around and stuff like that, that's when flying is something that really is beneficial to the game and incredibly useful. Yeah, you can taxi, but it's not as good. So why not gate it at level 100. Like now you're going to be able to have any level 90 come in if you've unlocked it on one character and fly around everywhere, which kind of cheapens the leveling experience 90 to 100.
They absolutely have to do it that way. I think. I mean, if it's one thing to put a heavy meta achievement requirement on everybody for one character, that's arguable. I could even I mean, we're obviously teasing it here a little bit, but I don't think it's that terrible a notion. But if you had to do that on every single character to be able to fly in Warlords of Draenor, that would be just. I would never roll another character. I would have one character that I play for the rest of eternity.
Every level 100 character could fly once you've unlocked it. Right? Not every 90 plus character could fly in Draenor. Every level 100 character could fly in Draenor. Or
to be fair, for ease, 90 to 100 is nothing in Draenor.
Right, but okay, so then you have to have completed the last quest in the storyline, in the main story, right? Not including raids. Then you can fly. Right? They could do that. Anyways,
I would be super keen to see them make flying interesting. I mean, it seems to me, if they could do in like they did in Cataclysm, if they could make underwater combat and everything semi-interesting, to be it's a small leap to do it in flight as well.
I don't think they made underwater combat interesting, Bill.
Oh no, but they tried.
They
did.
Could
try it. If they could try underwater, they could try in the air.
Yeah.
To me.
Okay.
Anyway.
I am surprised. Last thing that I have to say here, at least, I am surprised that they did go back on this. They were pretty firm in their statements about this. It's almost like they don't like yoga or something. I mean, flying.
Ooh. There's a little bit of British Columbia politics for you people out there. That's about as inside a joke as you could possibly
I knew
get.
Bill was going to get that. Anyways, yeah. Moving on.
Oh,
Layanor,
my.
move it along, please.
Yes, let's move on. I want to talk about it, but no.
No.
Let's move on. If you're interested in why yoga's a joke, then send us an email or Google yoga in British Columbia. It's
and bridge.
Just
and bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Layanor.
Whenever I see a new game that is MMO-ish, I'm always excited to bring it to the show because it's something new to talk about. And there's a game that just came out which is early access on Steam called Ark Survival Evolved. Now, I thought that this was going to be a expansion to the game Evolve, which is the 4 players versus the Beast game.
Yeah.
But it turned out to be something completely different. It is a survival game with there's a couple of survival games out right now called Rust and H1Z1, and basically it's players fighting other players or some sort of zombies involved. This one has dinosaurs involved in it, and the game is pretty far along and looks really, really cool. You're able to build shelters, you're able to craft items, grow crops, and research technologies, and you can go out and hunt down dinosaurs or tame them to ride them around. Mm-hmm. And it is a MMO because you do gain levels in this game, and you do gain a whole bunch of things, as you progress, and you can play with other players and build towns, or you can attack other players. There are a lot of things to do with this, and it's early access, and the game has already sold 40,000 copies total. At least that's what Massively has said.
400,000 copies.
400,000. Sorry, there's an extra O in that.
When did it go live? June 2nd. It went early access. Yeah. That's pretty amazing for early access, actually.
Yeah.
Watching the video, this is impressive. I mean, it's obviously a beautiful game, and it's got dinosaurs. So
here's the thing, though. I kind of hate survival games. I don't like the idea of, at least I don't know if this game does it, but every other survival game, players can come along and absolutely and totally troll you. Like, take all of your stuff, right? They can put you in handcuffs, and I remember seeing, what's his name? The CEO of Daybreak Games. He was doing a stream of, what's it called? The Arma 2 mod, the original survival game. Wow, gosh, why can't I remember the name? Anyways, and he totally had guys come up to him and say, "Hey, you know, you need to give us all your stuff." And they handcuffed him, and then, or they tied up his hands in rope, or no, they did handcuff him and left the key somewhere they had to crawl to get to because he was handcuffed, right? And the other thing is that you die, you're done, right? With these survival games, I don't know if this one's the same, but with H1Z1, you die, you're done. You have to restart.
Right. There was a couple of playthroughs I've seen of people doing this on YouTube, and they were talking about that. Their characters recently just got reset because it is a early access game, and they did reset the characters. But the people that were getting killed off, if they gained a level and they learned how to do something, they kept that knowledge and they kept their level.
Oh, okay, interesting. Well,
so I don't know if they're going to keep that. They could change that, or it could be something that they thought that they were going to put in. But the playthroughs that I watched, they said that there is a very cool progressive system in it, even though you get killed off.
Interesting. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing what you think of it. I hope we can get you in there and you can try it out and see what you think.
Oh, I want to ride a brontosaurus. That's my goal in life right now.
Awesome. There you go. It's good to have goals, Layanor. Good to have goals. All right, let's take a quick second to talk about our wonderful sponsors. Of course, you can go over to audiblepodcast.com/MMO Reporter to sign up for a subscription with Audible books. You can get yourself some audiobooks. They are absolutely fantastic. I'm really a fan of Audible. They get some really, really great readers to read stuff. And so that makes a huge difference to me when you are looking at having an audiobook, right? For example, here's one that is narrated by Will Wheaton.
That fuel from nuclear reactors is highly radioactive. Water is good for both radiation shielding and cooling, so fuel is stored at the bottom of pools for a couple of decades until it's inert enough to be moved into dry casks. We haven't really agreed on where to put those dry casks yet.
So this is actually a book called What If? Serious Scientific Answers to Absurd Hypothetical Questions, which is narrated by Will Wheaton.
It's written, if I remember right, it's written by the fellow who does XKCD.
Randall Munroe. I believe so, yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's worth reading, worth listening to. Randall Munroe is probably one of my favorite internet people out there.
Yeah, so you can go to audiblepodcast.com/MMO Reporter. You can sign up for a subscription, and you get your first month free, and you get a credit each month with this subscription that you can get yourself any audiobook that you want. Now, the cool thing is once you've spent that credit, you get to keep that book forever. Even if you let your subscription last, you still get to keep those audiobooks that you've used credits on. Just a quick note, if you do check out Audible, make sure that you use every credit that you have before you cancel your subscription, because the minute you cancel, as in the second you cancel, you lose all your credits. So you use them all up, and then you're good to go. The other one that we want to mention is Doghouse Systems. Go to doghousesystems.com and use the coupon code MMO Reporter when you buy your next PC, and you're going to get yourself a free 120 gig SSD. Carrie will not stop talking about her Doghouse system. She absolutely loves it, and I know that my next computer will also be a Doghouse system. So go check them out.
And I grew attached to my little virtual dude. So I ask, please don't delete my guy after beta. Please don't crush that part of my soul. Please don't delete my guy after beta.
All right, so we're going to be talking about Skyforge next. Skyforge is a game. I streamed a little bit of it, talked about it a little while ago. It's put out by my.com, and they are going into their last round of closed beta testing, their last beta testing at all, from what it sounds like, on June 23rd to 30th, a week-long closed beta test. We'll have a link to the show notes to the announcement about the beta, but the cool thing about this particular beta, not only is it the last one, but you're going to have instant access to 2 advanced classes. The way things work with Skyforge is you don't have a class that you pick and that's it. You can learn all of the different classes and then swap between them. You just have to level them separately. So these 2 advanced classes that you can get that would be locked sort of behind a whole bunch of growth of your character are the Knight and the Alchemist. So those will be available in this beta test to everyone who gets to play it. They're also increasing the number of beta testers. Anyone who pre-purchases the game has access, but they're also letting people who don't purchase in. You just have to go sign up for the beta, which I'll have a link to. I do like a lot of this game. The multi-classing is kind of cool. It's kind of like Final Fantasy XIV, where you can learn all the classes. And I also like the idea that there's no levels. You just progress up class talent trees. Most of them are fairly linear, although there's some exceptions to that. It's kind of similar in a way, if you remember the old Star Wars Galaxy way of leveling. You had your class, you had no levels, but you, through use, you leveled up different aspects of whatever class you had chosen. And you could switch classes. You couldn't multi-class, but you could learn new classes. In fact, those of you might remember a long time ago, the only way to unlock a force-sensitive character, which was, by the way, a permadeath character, was to level up to max power all of the different classes in a specific order. So people were trying to figure out how to get that. But anyways, that implementation, I've always liked that, that sort of level-less system. And so I'm kind of interested to try this out again. I'll be jumping into this beta if I can find the time and trying out the 2 new classes as well. The game does feel a little grindy and quite linear, but then again, I didn't get all that far into it. The whole idea is that you are slowly ascending towards godhood. By the time you get to max power sort of thing with your characters or max out a class, you are a god. And you get followers and all that sort of stuff. So there's some interesting parts to it, but it is very much Asian in its implementation of questing and art style. Very, very grindy. But there were some fun aspects to it as well. What do you guys think? Is this something that, you know, the class system? Is it something that you're interested in, Layanor?
The class system already sounds good to me because I liked the way that it was in Final Fantasy, where you could just switch out the classes. Now, can you combine 2 classes for a class?
Not that I know of, no.
Okay, so you have to play 1 class.
Yes.
Okay, well, you can switch them out, and that's cool. I have always had a problem playing multiple characters, and I like games that let you switch the class. And I like that a lot.
Yeah.
So that's already a selling point for me. That's really cool. Now, becoming a god in the end of the game, that's even better.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder if you're going to get to the stage where you've got like you become a god and you're surrounded by 50,000 of your other closest
gods. Yeah.
Or if it's like at least in the beginning for Star Wars Galaxies, where godhood is an actual rarity.
No, it will not be. Every character who sort of maxes out is a god. That's part of it, part of the whole thing. The lore of the world.
I could still try it. I could see it.
Yep. No,
it's on the list.
It's
in the Eve spot on the list.
It's shiny. It's new. It's this mix of high fantasy and technology, and not steampunk technology like electronic technology. So that's really cool. Imagine steampunk, but with, you know, high tech rather than low tech. That's kind of what it reminds me of. So very cool, very interesting. And I think that I will be checking that out. A couple of quick mentions here at the end. WildStar held a mystery event. We have a link to Massively OP's story on this. They said their title, which I think fits well, WildStar Mystery Event befuddles players. Yes, they had a mystery event. They forgot to change the title when they said mystery event to stress test, which is all the mystery event was. Yeah.
Yeah.
They did turn everyone into Rowdowsers, though, for the stress test. Yeah.
Surprise.
Yeah, exactly. Surprise! The big mystery is that
looking
nothing's
to see what a Rowdowser is.
It's a sheep. A funny-looking sheep. All right, you can let us know what you think of if you were part of this and if you were excited because you were. I saw lots of pictures of people as Rowdowsers riding their mounts, so that was kind of interesting. Let us know if you were part of this, what you thought. Couple of other ones here. Dragons come to Trove. They're going to bring this in slowly, but yes, we are going to have dragons in Trove. And I have to say, Trove is my little kind of semi-indie favorite. Feels like an indie game because it's such a small team at Tryon, and they've worked so hard on this. As they say here, dragons are coming to Trove. The first dragon hatches next week. A wee little pet you can grow into a gliding, fire-breathing behemoth. And they're going to have more. And last but not least, BioWare is going to announce a new SWTOR expansion at E3. It is going to be called Knights of the Fallen Empire. How many of you are still playing SWTOR? I know, Bill, you were updating it a couple weeks ago.
It's on my list. Haven't jumped into it or anything like that.
Your list.
I don't want to. I'm torn because on the one hand, the main reason I want to jump back into it is to essentially solo it. I want to do the story quest. I want to play the successor to Knights of the Old Republic, and I want to. That's the main thing that I want to try. I don't know. I don't know. The other part of me wants to play with somebody else because I feel like I'm going to need that moral support to keep going. So. I'm torn. In the meantime, I don't know, the Guild Wars 2 button on my keyboard or whatever, on my desktop. I mean, it's so easy to find. It's always right there.
I was going to say, you have a Guild Wars 2 button on your keyboard? Wow.
Yep.
I should make it, actually.
Yep. Okay, last bit here. We do have an email from Mary Rose Morning Song, and I also want to mention a very, very quick thank you to, and I'm just looking here for the right email, and I can't find it. And I'm sorry, why can't I find it here? Sal, from Sal, just want to say thank you for letting us know that there was a problem with the posting last week and that the episode hadn't gone out to iTunes right. We fixed that right away. Thank you very much. And we do have an email here from Mary Rose Morning Song saying, one quick comment on the animation in Echo of Soul. Why is it acceptable for females to be portrayed as just an object? I am so much more than just that. And then there is the believability in the standard anime look. If I'm going out to battle, I want to be like Gwendolyn Christie in Game of Thrones in her armor and sword. I want to look intimidating. Continuing on with my rant there from last week about Echo of Soul and its portrayal of female characters. Yeah, thank you very much. I completely agree. I think every female character should look badass, not sexy. Right? It fits for like a mage to be wearing some sort of cloth armor or something like that. But if you're playing a warrior, you better look badass. Because if you don't look badass, you're doing it wrong.
Right. I don't know. As soon as the needle tips heavily towards obviously trying to be sexy instead of being fantastic, then it's just dumb. You're making yourself look dumb, or as a developer you're making yourself look dumb. You're assuming that the people playing your game are dumb. It's just dumb. I mean, if you're playing a fantasy game, you're not playing it to you're not playing it for porn.
And
really.
here's the thing.
There's lots of better places on the internet for porn.
Here's the thing. If developers want to do that, go right ahead. That is your choice, but it is also my choice not to play a game like that. I'm not going to play, like if I do play Echo of Soul, which Layanor and I were talking about doing a little bit of content for that. I personally, because this is a personal thing, I can't stand that part of it. But if they want to do that, I'm just gonna stay away. The other thing I want to mention, Mary Rose also does compliment the show. Thank you very much. Glad that you came over after my little guest stint on Loto Reporter. She says, I laughed so hard with the episode where Harry was in the airport and almost said firing my weapons near security. Priceless, I agree. So the last thing here, she mentions, but the good news is, because she only plays one game, but she said the good news is I have found 2 other gamers at work, so after listening to your podcast, I can sound informed and intelligent about games.
Yay!
And yes, Diablo 3 is definitely worth a try. It is absolutely a blast and very easy to get into. So I highly recommend following your coworkers' advice there. Thank you, Mary Rose.
Almost a little bit guilty about wild baseless speculation being the meat and potatoes of our show.
Yeah, all of a sudden everybody is spouting the stuff we spout, and that's a little bit scary.
Now I feel responsible. Jeez, I hope I say something that makes Mary Rose sound bad.
Don't worry, Bill, I won't ever think of you as responsible. Speaking of which, you're responsible for the contact info. Would you kindly let everybody know how they can contact us?
Oh, I feel like I should just make it up now and wild guess.
Baseless speculation on
this week, our website is www.google.com. No, just kidding. You can find our actual website over at MMOreporter.com. You can send us an email to mmo.reporter@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/MMOreporter. You can find any of the MMO reporters over on Twitter at MMO_reporter for Chris, at Harry Hall for Harry Hall, at Layanor for Layanor, and at MMO Bill for yours truly. You can give us a call at 616-666-6778. Leave us a voicemail. Tell us what you think. We would love to hear it. And if you're at least under 50% swears in the voicemail, we will we'll edit it. You know, if we get a voicemail that's 50% swears, Chris, you're going to bleep that out and
I will.
Play it.
Yeah.
I think that should be a thing. We have presence on Zerg ID. You can find Chris as Almazar there. You can technically find me as Woe, although I talk about Zerg ID more than I actually do anything with it.
Whoa.
So that's that. And you can find Layanor as well as, predictably, Layanor. You can find us on YouTube, youtube.com/MMO Reporter Network. And finally, if you head over to MMOreporter.com/support, you can find a few different ways to help us keep the lights on and the hamsters in the wheels over at the MMO Reporter server room.
Thank you very much, Bill. Layanor, it's been fantastic recording with you this week.
I found out if you take all your medication and put it in ice cream, it tastes really, really good.
Thank you for sharing that very important fact. Bill, as always, a pleasure.
If you take all your ice cream and just eat ice cream, it's good as well. So
wow. All right. On that very informative note, we're going to end the show. Thank you very much for our chat room for coming out and bearing with our technical difficulties this week that none of you at home will ever notice. And thanks to everyone for downloading the podcast week after week. We really appreciate it. We hope that you download it again next week, but most importantly, we hope to see you in game.
Each and every little character you've got, no matter what level they're at. Don't forget about your alts you need to cherish.
Welcome to the MMO Reporter Shopping Network, where you watch us pick which games we're going to buy in the Steam sale.
Which we're going to try to buy, but won't let us. I feel like a second-class citizen here.
Aw. Poor Bill. You okay?
No.
You want a muffin?
Just a hug.
I'll be there in a bit.
How about a muffin hug?
Nah.
How about a hug muffin?
Ooh.
Thanks for watching the video, everybody. Don't forget to check out all the other podcasts at MMOreporter.com or by clicking on any of the links here. And please check out our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MMOreporter. Thanks, everyone, and see you in game.